All right, friends, Peggy Hall back with you. I am filming this live here. It's May 11th and it's 2020. You're asking me to cover this hantavirus ship outbreak. It's not really a cruise ship. This was more of an expedition, if it even went out at all. Let me give you a little disclaimer. This video and this channel, this information is intended for critical thinkers only. Now, I have been working all day on a longer video that actually includes some video clips of the news of the so-called witnesses. I mean, actors. I mean, you know what I mean. It's just too much. I'm going to give you a very quick sneak peek, and I will have this video for you either probably tomorrow. We're going to be looking at this doctor with two different names, with the most bizarre, doesn't even look like him, the most bizarre footage. The name the same, Redfield and Cornfield. Yes, this is the fellow from the CDC. There is so much to cover here, friends. As I say, this is just an appetizer, a little sneak peek, because I have got the full course coming for you soon. This is the quality of the footage that we have of this doctor. I mean, it reminds me of what happened with the shooting. Excuse me, is that what it was? At the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Now, listen, if you're not a fan of snark, if you're not a fan of digging deeper, of asking questions, of being a critical thinker, I would just probably go click on a different channel, because here we question why we're told this is a deadly virus, yet the people standing around to receive the evacuees are not wearing any hazmat suits. There's no kind of mask or gloves or anything, but there is the black and white here, which is associated with Freemasonry. And of course, it is a blurred image because that makes it look scary. And that's what they want. They want you to be afraid, be deathly afraid. It's no surprise that Moderna is developing a vaccine for the virus. Oh, did I tell you about viruses? Yeah, they've never been proven. Again, I'm not even getting into the video today. This is the appetizer. Stay tuned for my full-fledged video where I'm going to go through this with a fine-tooth comb, including all of the characters, why they're doing this, why they're trying to peddle the fear, the confusion. Well, they want to control your behavior. They want you to be afraid, be very, very afraid. Oh, and also sign up for the vaccine. You know what? I'm applauding this. Absolutely. If people want to go and become a human pincushion and believe that it is going to prevent them from getting a disease, well, then that lets you and me off the hook, right? Oh, no, so sorry. I forgot. Their vaccine only works if you're vaccinated. Well, you can go to see reality.revolt on Instagram. He did a very good summary of all of this latest hogwash. We are definitely on the same page in many ways. And I am going to be talking about, well, do you see what I see? Take a look at the logo of the Ocean-Wide Expeditions. Oh, yes. It couldn't be any more clear than that, could it? Of course, the owners of that ship were also involved in working in some sort of biolabs. Robert Redford, not to be confused with Robert, where's the other fellow? Robert Redfield, not to be confused with Cornfield or Cornfeld or Seinfeld. You see, they confuse these names. That's another way that the media keeps you trapped in these stories. Stay tuned. I've got a whole Substack for you. We're going to be looking at the color coding of this latest so-called emergency. This is the fellow with that nice duper's delight on his face, and he gives his testimony. Oh, well, how do you like them apples? I think it was back in 2012, The Simpsons, with the same color coding, because we're going to be looking at the purple as well. They did, and I'll play this for you in the next day or so as I put the finishing touches on my video. It's too rich. There's too much to do here, friends. But I didn't want to miss seeing you this evening. So there was a cruise ship scare where Bart fakes some sort of virus on a cruise ship and everybody falls for it. And gee, this guy kind of looks like this guy. You can't make this stuff up. I'm going to show you this guy that we just took a look at a moment ago. We're going to look at his Instagram page. Why are his images crystal clear? He's on the same ship. Of course, he's going to show us all the rainbows. You can connect the clots on that. But why is his footage crystal clear, but this guy is not? I mean, come on. It's absolutely cray, to say the least. And of course, the witnesses or the victim's sister was involved in disaster recovery, including for 19. They had to trot out another color-coded witness, but this individual, we're told, survived this hantavirus in 2010. Yes, nothing like breaking news 16 years later, but at least she is wearing the right color clothing. Oh my gosh. When we take a look at Jake's testimony, you're going to see again and again in all of his footage the similar colors that they use to kind of sear it into your brain, because colors and numbers and symbols and signs are the way that they manipulate you. Oh, here is another of that teal color. So we're told again to not be afraid, but to be afraid at the same time. Arizona Department of Health has to be trotted out, and they bring another survivor from back in, let's see, when was this one? Also like in 2010 or something. He looks so broken up, as you can tell. Oh my gosh. The color purple. Remember the movie called The Color Purple? Well, the color purple is associated with this latest, what are we going to call it? Emergency trial. I mean, it's just like they're trotting it out to see who's going to fall for it. We're told that a purple tongue is one of the symptoms of the late stages of this virus. Hat tip to the Instagrammer reality.revolt if you'd like to learn more. And I came across this on YouTube today. It's Trump's maternal health care event. I have no idea what that means, but they're all wearing purple. Ain't that a coinky dink? How do you like them apples? And of course, we can't forget that in December of 2025, The Economist featured the cover story of a cruise ship. There's that color teal again. I just see a couple people with purple, not too many. Puts me in mind of the cover story that they had, I think, yeah, in 2012. If you look a little closer up at the top, this was predictive programming for the paragliders going from the Israeli occupied Palestine into Israel. And of course, the world's top military, top technology, top security in Israel was asleep at the wheel for several hours. It makes sense. Of course, they didn't know what was going on. They never prepared for paragliders. It's a perfect way to enter a country with all sorts of weapons and create mayhem, wouldn't you say? We're going to talk about Gene Hackman and his wife. And again, hat tip to Reality Revolt, who said, oh, this is interesting. Gene Hackman, kind of like gene hacking. And we're told that's how they create the mRNA therapies. Just another caveat, friends. mRNA and DNA, these are all theories. It's never been proven. We'll have to dive into that another time. Here's another Substacker you could follow, Gemma O'Doherty, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. She and I are on the same wavelength on many topics, and she points out that the outbreak happened on day 33. Yes. And the Wall Street Journal says it was a 33-day Atlantic odyssey that turned into a nightmare. Oh, there was a movie called, oh my gosh, who's that other YouTuber? I can't remember. Oh, Call for an Uprising did a video about that as well. I think it was called Tour of Terror or something, where there's an outbreak on the cruise ship. And there was another one, the X-Files had the hantavirus outbreak. So there are a few right there of the predictive programming. But speaking of number 33, it puts me in mind of the 33rd degree Mason in Freemasonry. And if you're not familiar with Freemasonry, it's not just a civic group that does good things for the community, maybe at the very beginning levels, but it is a fraternity that is based on the they have a lot of occultic practices to have you initiated into the group. It's a secret fraternity, so secrecy is not, I mean, it's completely anti-Christian, although they say anybody of any faith can go. So when we see that number 33, I see it coded for the New World Disorder. I'll talk about Mary Tally Bowden tomorrow. I'll cover some of these things about ivermectin. I'll talk about the quarantine where the individuals are. Oh, don't worry about it. It's just like a fancy hotel. That's what it says here. It's just like a controlled hotel stay. Isn't that nice? You have a private room and food delivery. Oh, but you can't leave. Probably not until you get your vaccine. Friends, as I say, I just wanted to come on to say hello and to let you know that I've got a full-fledged video for you on all of these topics. This is just the appetizer. We'll get to the full buffet, the full cruise buffet, hopefully tomorrow. I want to embed some of the videos. I cannot play them live because they get real jaggedy. The audio doesn't match the voice. So I want to extrapolate some of that, especially with this fellow here. Drop a comment. Let me know if you saw his video, what you thought of it. It seemed very scripted to me. You'll see the color coding again and again. Jaggedy, whoops. The audio. Here we are. Thank you, everybody. NCAR says, yeah, Peggy here to give us the discernment we all love and enjoy on the latest scam. The guy who made the video on the boat was a crisis actor during COVID. Show me that. Email me, support@thehealthyamerican.org. You know, I have to say, I don't think a lot of people are paying attention to this. And I'll tell you why. As we're finishing up, I find it super interesting. So in my little community where I am right now in South Florida, every once in a while we have these little get-togethers, and one of my neighbors said, hey, Peggy, can you come to our get-together? We're going to have a summer, it's going to be like a happy hour. I mean, I don't drink, but you know, like hors d'oeuvres and all that. It's going to be a summer cruise party. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is awesome. They are so not even aware of the Cruise of Terror, I think was the name of that movie, that they want to have the summer cruise party. And I said, count me in. I think that is so awesome that people are not even paying attention. All right. The TV show X-Files has, yes. Okay. Mentioned that one. They're using the same playbook. Glad to be here live. Glad you're doing this video. Thank you so much. You were all asking me for this. And friends, I want you to really vet out the info, because here people are talking about hant means scam in Hebrew. I was not able to verify that. So verify that. I know that people are showing that stuff on Facebook. I'm not even on Facebook. I can't see anything on Facebook if you send me a link, because I don't go there. I can barely see things on Twitter, but I can kind of break through a little bit. Okay, Biggie says about 33s, hantavirus spells variant leaving the letters HUS. It happens to be a medical abbreviation, and it has a numerical value of 33 in reverse. I think these things are fascinating, and I personally love to collect these very obscure clues. I love to solve problems. You can throw all those at me. It doesn't faze me. I will say that there are people who get turned off when we start talking about the inverted, like, we also saw something 999. Well, that's an inverted 666, which is the mark of the beast. And I know some people get turned off by that. So that's kind of higher level. And I know that my healthy Americans are discerning and can understand that. Patricia says, I smell a rat with the haunt you virus. I agree. It's like haunted, the hantavirus. Friends, this wasn't even created until 1993. And why is that? Oh, because of the PCR test. Well, you know, and I know that the PCR doesn't measure what it's supposed to measure, or what they say it measures. It can measure anything. It's like saying, oh, you have red blood cells in your body. Well, yeah, of course I have red blood cells in my body. I just don't really believe these tests. I don't put a lot of veracity into the whole DNA, RMA, mRNA, mRNA. They're pushing it. They're pushing that they want you to take ivermectin. Ivermectin is a poison. It is basically a pesticide. I did a whole detailed Substack for you about ivermectin. Now, there are some people that I'll go ahead and show this to you now. Again, I don't want to repeat myself tomorrow completely, but if you don't mind, I'm going to talk all about this again tomorrow. Mary Talley Bowden, no disrespect to her. She probably stood up against a lot of stuff during all of the hogwash, as I call it, but she believes in the viruses and she believes in ivermectin. So I don't know if she's misguided. I don't have any evidence that she's controlled opposition. I'm not putting that forward at all. I am just saying that there are those who pushed for ivermectin a lot in the media, making it appear as though the government didn't want you to have it so that you would want it even more. It's called the theory of scarcity, or it's not a theory, it's a tactic, a scarcity tactic. So I don't know if she truly believes this, but when you dig a little deeper, you find out this is there's a name for this document here. This is what describes what ivermectin is. Like if you go to the chemical lab, they have to have this information and there's numbers and everything associated with it. This comes, Merck supplies this ivermectin solid formulation. Let's zoom in on it a little bit. And it says it causes acute toxicity. It targets your central nervous system because it is a pesticide. That's why I personally do not put flea medication on my animals, because not only does it target the fleas' central nervous system, it targets the animals. So there's a lot about this as well. Okay, friends, I am going to dive in because I want to bring you the predictive programming from Bart Simpson, from that, I think it was called Cruise of Terror or something like that. Then there was also the X-Files. I don't watch TV or any of that. I am so tired of this, as all Christine says. I am too. I didn't even want to cover it. I didn't even want to give it the light of day. But I do love to solve puzzles. I do love to connect the clots. We're going to talk about all of the color coding that is going on in terms, you're going to see the teal show up again. See if I have that for you again and again and again. You're going to see the purple show up again and again. Even the same color on the expedition ship line. I'm not going to call it a cruise ship. It wasn't really like, they were going to the Bahamas or something. And even that is the same color. So I thought that was interesting. Again, I'm just going through some of the slides that I had prepared for you, but I love your comments. If you have a link that is not on Facebook, you can email me, support@thehealthyamerican.org. I feel sorry for the rats. I feel sorry that the rats are going to be ratted out and tortured and experimented on and all of that. And yeah, I do smell a rat, a dirty, rotten rat. And Barbara says, thank you for all your snarky research. Hantavirus, it ain't a virus. That's right. I'm going to start to call it a hantavirus. I love that. I get some of my best things from my healthy Americans. I will tell you, doing this research, it did cause some distress because I had to see what most people are seeing. And I know people that I care about that are going to be susceptible to this because they're hijacking your emotions. So this is also why I took a few days before I covered it. I want to be able to cover this when people have calmed down a little bit and they're not so riled up about it. Are you going to talk about the WHO pandemic treaty? Why would you like me to talk about it? And if so, why? Because the who does not rule your life. You do not have to fear the who, what, where, when, why, and how. That, in my opinion, is another fear tactic. I have a whole video. You know what? I'm going to replay it for you. It's called Don't Give Your Power Away. I made it a couple of years ago. It was all about this who hoopla that I'm not falling for either. So that's my short comment about that. So let me know why Trump is wearing purple and why all these women are wearing purple. Do I have that? It's the color purple, the color teal. Those are going to be the colors that we're going to see again and again. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to get back to work. I will have that video for you shortly. I don't want to tell you if it's today or tomorrow. Tomorrow or the next day. I want to make sure that I can get all of my embedded videos for you. And while we're talking about saving the world, why don't I just give you a little something lighter, talk about saving your skin. That is over at something much more pleasant over at my website, it's Living Swell with Peggy Hall, but you've been asking me about the youth serum. I want to thank everyone. Oh my gosh. Ava said it was like a spa day for her face. It felt so good. So this is something that I did for my own skin because this is what it used to look like. This is when I followed the dermatologist when they told me to put on the toxic sunscreen and to take antibiotics and to do the harsh soaps. And this is what my skin looked like in my 40s. This is decades later. Yes, it is. And I believe that my skin looks better now than it ever did. This is one way that I push back against the mainstream medical merry-go-round. I do not buy drugstore products. I do not buy department store products. I handcrafted my own after a long time of struggling. And I've got, well, there I am. That was in my 50s. I'm a few years beyond that, actually. And thank you, everyone, for your comments. I don't really go by age, but everything is natural, carefully selected. It's organic. If you're interested, you can read all about my story. You can read all about the ingredients. I am doing this for you. You asked me to bring it back. It is a lot of work because I handcraft it out. I wrap it with great care. People say they feel like they are opening a gift from a friend. And I send my prayers with every package that I ship out. It takes me a few days. I'm not Amazon. Everything is made to order. The soap is handcrafted by an artisan partner that I have in North Carolina. And the youth serum is created by yours truly, all organic, carefully selected. So if we can't save the world, we can at least save our skin. And I did want to say that somebody asked me, is it vain to care about your appearance? I think it honors God to take care of this precious life that he gave us. And that includes taking care of how we treat ourselves, our appearance, what we eat, what we think, what we do, what we ingest, not only our food, but what we are talking about, which is why I don't want to spend too much time on these kinds of stories. I don't even know if you can hear me because I moved the microphone. Oh, sorry, friends. Hopefully you heard all that. I don't know if you did. Okay. Anyhow, thank you, everybody. I appreciate you more than you know. I pray for you. I love you. I am so grateful that you've been on board all this time. And stay tuned with me because I'll have another video where we'll dive a little deeper. Take care and hop on that free Substack, peggyhall.substack.com. Big shout out to the moderators, friends. They give so generously of their time, their care, their concern. They're here on every video supporting you and supporting me as we breathe life back into liberty. We don't fall for these hantavirus things, and we are marching it all the way to heaven.